What's up guys, Alex from FIFA Scouting Tips here, and welcome to Season 3 Episode 15 of Pompey Youth Stars. I'm going to get straight into this game. We have a match against Cardiff. I am resting a few players because a couple of days later we have a fairly important game against Sunderland, but still we've got a good team, full of lots of good youth players. Let's see if we can beat Cardiff. This game almost had a calamitous start. As Cardiff played the ball into the box, I slid into tackle and tripped up their striker. For some reason nothing was given and they couldn't put the header in. I was so lucky to get away with not losing a penalty there. I then took advantage, had a chance of my own. Jaime had so much time in the box, far too much time. Enough time to turn and smash the ball in off the post. That was a really good finish, but they should have defended so much better than that. He was given so much time just to turn, take his time on it and score the goal. Going up to 2 goals for the season so far. He's been doing pretty well. He went on the attack again and almost doubled his goal tally, just going past the defenders with absolute ease, but I really should have done better. Couldn't even hit the target on that chance, but we were just tearing their defence apart. Came in at half time, 3 shots, they only had 1, and the possession was fairly even, but that half really was all about me. They just couldn't get the ball back off me. It was a really strong half, and we really kind of felt like it should have been more than just 1-0, but it was very encouraging. I felt like I was going to win this game. I was doing enough to come out with the 3 points. The second half started as the first half ended. Coyne on the attack, easily through, but the goalkeeper did a very good job to keep that one out. And they finally managed to get a shot on goal, but Brown managed to deny them with a diving save to keep the ball out. They got a bit more confidence from that, had another shot in the box, but they couldn't keep it down. Brown untroubled in goal, and from then on it was all us. Jaime again with a good play, crossing it in for Bong, whose diving header put it into the back of the net. Jaime again with a really good play, so he's now scored one and created one, and that was just such a good cross. No challenge on Bong at all. He just couldn't miss from 2 yards out. Diving header put it in, a really nice goal to score. And that brought Bong up to 14 goals for the season, one of the leading goal scorers in the Premier League in his first season. And then shortly after we did it again. He just turned and ran, and they just could not keep up with him into the box, and he rocketed that one into the top of the goal with his weak foot, but there was nothing weak about that shot. Almost took the goalkeeper's head off. It was so powerful there. He had to basically duck out the way of it. Nothing was going to stop that one, so that brought him up to 2 goals for the game, 15 for the season. I think he's now the top scorer in the league, doing really well. But we were not going to stop there. We were hungry for another one. Bong played through on goal and almost got his hat-trick, but more good goalkeeping kept him out that time. We had more opportunities even into stoppage time. This one from Coyne was stopped by the goalkeeper, and we did eventually manage to put the ball into the back of the net, but Vatanen was offside with the header, so we couldn't get our 4th goal, but it didn't matter. We came in 3-0 winners, and it could easily have been far more than that. We completely dominated that game, 9 shots with 7 on target. Cardiff only managed 5 in the whole game, only 3 of them being on target. Possession was pretty even, but basically, especially in that last part of the game, as soon as they got the ball, they just hoofed it clear and we came on another attack. We could have got so many more goals than the 3, but that was all it needed in the end. It was a very strong result against them. Good confidence boost for us going into the next game. Bong got the 8.9 rating with man of the match. He was fantastic, as he always is. Jaime with an 8.2. He really was superb in midfield as well, creating chances, defending really well. He got his goal as well. Really strong performance from him. Brown with a 7.4, and same with Green. Garassi got an 8.0 rating. So there's some good performances on the pitch all round, and like I said, it could have been much more than just 3-0, but in the end that was all it needed to be, and it was a really good result against Cardiff City. Okay, straight after that game we have 2 messages from our players. First up, one from Kelvin Bong saying he's really happy to be one of the first names on the team sheet. It's not really hard when he's playing in such amazing form. And we also have one from Yuri Lodigan asking if he can have a pay rise. We haven't got a huge amount of money left, so hopefully he's not going to ask for a really big rise. So let's go have a look at how much he wants. Okay, so Lodigan's currently on £2,000 and he wants it up to £15,000. That's an increase of £13,000. If you look in the top right, we have £6,500 in our wage budget. So we're going to have to adjust the ratio a bit, take some money out of the transfer budget, and just fingers crossed that we're going to have enough to cover that, because that is quite a substantial increase. But obviously he's a really key player for us, really fast player, and that's pretty rare to get with youth and regen players. So hopefully we can afford it. Let's go have a look at how much money we'll have left. Right, so this is our budget split at the moment. We need to get 13,000 in the wage budget, so let's just get that up to around that much. So there we go, we can just about do it. We'll have 121,000 left in the transfer budget, pretty much nothing left at all in the wage budget, so let's do that. Hopefully, well, he should accept if we do that, but we're going to have to be really careful with our money after that, and hopefully no one else is going to ask for a pay increase, because it's going to be pretty tight if they do. So there we go, there's £15,000, let's send that off, and like I said, hopefully he'll accept. That'll leave us with £232 in the wage budget, not a lot, so hopefully we can scrape by with just that left. Right, while we wait for Lodigan to respond to that contract offer, we have this game against Sunderland. Going to be a bit tougher than the last game, I think. They're a pretty decent team. Cardiff wasn't too tough, so hopefully we'll still end up with a decent result. I have had to rest a few players though because they're pretty tired. This is only a couple of days after that Cardiff game, so it's going to be pretty tough, but let's see how we do. We came right out of the blocks in this game, Bennett twisting and turning, leaving the defender on the floor and tapping the ball into the bottom corner. Really nice finish after only a few minutes. Almost a Bong-esque goal there, the way he was just running at the defender and leaving him on his face, and a very confident finish into the corner. That brought Bennett up to 3 goals in the Premier League, and he's doing okay, getting a few goals for us. And the good stuff continued. Paulett with a very good shot from the edge of the box, smacking the post, unlucky not to score there, but we kept the pressure up and eventually it paid off. Bennett playing Lodigan through on goal, and he smashed it into the top of the goal. It's so good to have a player with pace like that strong acceleration just to get off the mark and beat the defenders, and it was a lovely pass from Bennett as well, and no stopping that shot into the roof of the net. And so this was a really good performance in the first half, bringing us up to 2-0. Lodigan with the second goal of the season, came in at half time winning 2-0, and just Sunderland had not even turned up in that half. I had the majority of the possession, which is very rare for me in the Premier League, had more shots on target than them. They hadn't even had an attempt on target yet, they just had not turned up at all, and it was a very good first half performance from us. But their manager must have said something to them at half time, because they came out a different team. They managed to get their first shot on target, easily dealt with there by Doherty, but it was a sign of things to come. They just kept the pressure going and dragged the ball across the box, poor marking, and they just tapped it into the corner. Half decent goal, but really lax defending, and then they kept it going. A few minutes later, smashing the ball from just inside the box, Doherty with no chance there into the bottom corner, and suddenly the game had just flipped. It was a completely different half to the first half, and I ended up drawing it 2-2. It was just such a shock. They were a completely different team in that second half. They had 6 shots in total, 4 of them in that second half, and 4 shots on target. I only had 1 more shot in the entire game. I just couldn't get the ball back off them, couldn't get any decent chances on goal. It was so surreal. Just, it was like 2 different games almost, playing 2 different teams, the first and the second half. Bennett did manage to get the man of the match with the 8.2 rating, and Lodigan was very good with 7.6. I decided to rest Bong in this game because I got Liverpool a few days later, so I wanted to make sure he was fully fit for that important game, and Bennett stepped in and did really well, but I just didn't do enough to get a win. But like I said, it was so strange having those 2 different halves, completely different. Sunderland were very strong in that second half, so a 2-2 result was probably fair on the basis of the whole game. Just a bit unfortunate we didn't get any more from it. Okay, bad news from Lodigan. He says he's going to turn down the contract offer, the extension, and he says it's not something he wants to commit himself to. So that's pretty annoying because he's not going to be happy with the amount he's being paid at the moment. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad though going forward. So I've just gone and had a look at the contract screen, and it says that Lodigan still has 3.5 years left on his contract, so it's not like he's going to leave at the end of the year or anything like that. He's going to stick around for a bit longer. So what I reckon I'm going to do is wait until next season when I have a new budget, bit more money, and then we can offer him a slightly higher contract that hopefully he will accept, and he'll stop being unhappy, and hopefully that will sort out the problem. And it's good because we've just finished the January transfer window, so there's no way any other team is going to come in and bid for him and take him away before next season, so we can just wait until then offer him a new contract, and like I said, hopefully he will accept that one. Okay, because we haven't had any scouting reports or player updates or anything like that in this episode so far, we have this game against Liverpool, and I'm going to play this one. So we're going to have 3 games in this episode instead of the normal 2. It's going to be a really tough game though, the toughest one in this episode I reckon. Liverpool are doing very well, they're a couple of places above us, but they are only 3 points ahead of us, so if we do get a good result in this game, we could go level with them, and that would be a real boost for us. So let's see if we can do it. It's going to be tough, but I'm feeling hopeful. We've got Bong out in this game, so hopefully he can do the job and get us 3 points. This was a difficult game to say the least, Liverpool twisting and turning in the box. Luckily Doherty was there to keep the shot out, but it was a sign of things to come. They played the ball over the top, clean through, but Doherty came out quickly and smothered the shot. He was offside anyway, luckily, but it was very difficult half. But Bong picked up the ball and did what he does best. He just ran and ran. Defense could not keep up with him. Unfortunately the keeper came out quickly to deny him, but that was a classic Bong run. Very unfortunate not to score. Came in at half time, and Liverpool had 61% of the possession. It was absolute domination, but they only had 2 shots, which was the same amount as me, so they weren't just peppering my goal with shots. but they were in complete control of the ball and of the game. I just could not get the ball back. Every time I tried to go forward with the ball, they tackled me, my shot went wide, and they got the ball back. It was a very, very competent display from Liverpool, and I was just not in the game in that half, and they continued with it in the second half, turning into space in the box. Luckily, Doherty pulled off a really good save to keep them out. There was one bright bit of play from me, but it didn't amount to much. The ball dropping to Ajay Boateng, but a really weak shot, and then Bennett got the ball, but he was offside, and that was about as good as I got in that half. Not even really worth mentioning. Liverpool resumed their attack. My defence decided it wasn't worth marking them. Luckily, Doherty had not given up, and he pulled off 2 fantastic saves and another one there. He was on fire in this half, just really denying them. But then, unfortunately, this happened. I dived in to header the ball, and their striker tripped over me, and they got a penalty. It was a really silly decision. Very annoying that it went their way. I just went in for a header. They stepped up and took the penalty and smashed it into the top of the goal, and that was 77 minutes gone. I'd held out for that long, but my resistance was broken, and Liverpool were looking for more goals, and luckily for me, they only managed to hit the post on that one. That almost made it 2-0 and buried the game. They kept up the attacks though, but Doherty was still going, tipping that one over the bar, and then it ended at 1-0. So really, I was quite lucky not to have lost by much more than that. They had 10 shots and 9 of them were on target, maintained that 61% of the possession. I only had 3 shots and 2 of them on target. I was barely in that game at all. As in the first half, I just could not get the ball back off them. Every time I got the ball, I got tackled with ease by them. It was a very difficult game, to be honest, and it could have finished much more than just 1-0. But Doherty was superb, and he was rewarded with the man of the match and a 9.3 rating, possibly his best game of the season so far. No one else played that well at all. There's nothing really worth mentioning apart from Doherty. He had an absolute worldie and pulled off 11 saves. Without him, it could have been so much worse. So many fantastic saves from him, just really kept me in the game and at least gave me a chance to try and get back into it. Unfortunately, I couldn't. It ended 1-0, but like I said, it could have been so much worse against Liverpool. Right, after that game, that's all I got time for, so thank you very much for watching. Don't forget the Scouting Award contest is about to end. It ends in a couple of days' time. It is on the best midfielders aged 18 or under. It can also include left and right wingers. So if you found a really good midfielder aged 18 or under, make sure you take a picture of them when they are in the youth academy or just after they've been promoted. Make sure there's no stat growth either, just to keep it fair for everybody else. You can then send that picture to @FIFA Scouting on Twitter using the hashtag ScoutingGod, or facebook.com/FIFA-Scouting-Tips, or you can leave a link to the image in the comments below, or you can submit it on FIFAscoutingtips.com. That ends at the end of August, so like I said, only a couple of days left, and we had some really good entries so far, so not long to get your entries in on that. Keep all your feedback coming and all your ideas on what you want me to do next. FIFA 16 just around the corner now, so if there's anything you want me to do on FIFA 15 before that happens, any other tutorials or guides or anything like that, let me know and I'll try and get onto it as soon as I can. So yeah, keep all your feedback coming and all your ideas and stuff. Make sure you leave a like as well if you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. But then this happened. What the hell?